Welcome everybody, my name is Michael, and today we're discussing about AI, artificial intelligence. Please follow me. The next 5 trends that will happen probably over the next decade, we're going to see more of this focus on. Right now, number one, AI legislation. Just because this was in the news this past week, one executive order, but there's many more to come. And it's not just for America, it's global. With legislation, just like with blockchain, there's always going to be regulation of a new industry. This is for safety. This is for the protection of the citizens of a nation, but also from the nation itself. Just in case, if anything goes wrong with robots and AI and machine learning, you don't want bad actors taking this and using it as a weapon. So AI legislation over the next year or two, we're going to see a lot more in the news. The European Union is in touching distance for regulation that's going to be revolutionary for AI. It is going to provide a new set of guidelines for any European companies that are working with AI. This is going to also set a precedent because you've got now China, you've got India, of course, America. You got all these big tech powerhouses that are working on legislation right now. Now, there's a couple of obstacles to regulating AI, such as what is harm? Who is harmed by this AI? When does this harm occur? Is it just a case of AI talking with a journalist, a couple impolitically correct things were said, or did this AI suddenly reveal a secret of a company, or it actually targeted an individual? I don't know. So the next one is assessing damages. Well, how much money was lost? What are the damages? Who was damaged by this AI? Whether it was $1 worth of damages or potentially hundreds of millions of dollars. And the problem is, how do you calculate these damages? You don't know if AI was solely responsible for damages for something that was posted online. The other part is policing speech, especially in Western countries where it's all about freedom of speech. There's a whole large body of legal theory out there that's devoted itself to viewing software itself as speech. So AI is now able to create books, it's able to write, it's able to create art, it's able to speak, it's able to create videos and calls. And now you're going to be using AI with companies in place of humans in probably the next couple of years, picking up phones and having simple conversations and customer support. But eventually it's going to evolve. And with that, how do you police the speech? How do you actually control it? Well, instead of trying to regulate it fully, you can rethink the law. You're going to have to work with lawmakers to come up with new intuitive ways of actually having control over this, such as with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration last year, they completed a new groundbreaking pilot program into ways to certify AI systems. And it was focused on certifying the processes surrounding software development instead of certifying each software AI system by itself. With the UK, you had the Financial Conduct Authority, and they've experimented with other innovative approaches, such as embedding laws within certain software systems. This is just the beginning. We're not sure exactly the best way to have legal control and make sure everything's safe. But obviously this is going to be massive over the next couple of years with legislation. And this leads us to the next segment, number 2, how to create ethical AI. Well, this is going to be a philosophical question. Is the creator of the AI an ethical person? Is the company that is controlling this AI an ethical company? With this, the big thing is transparency, fairness. With deepfakes, obviously, that is unethical in most circumstances, unless there was supplied permission for, let's say, creative purposes. In terms of authenticity, equality, and mainly the architects behind these AI machines, there's going to have to be a body out there that regulates or informs or educates regarding ethical considerations in producing AI software. And once it is there, for the companies, just like right now, in terms of diversity and ethics and whatnot, there's going to be a department revolving probably around the technological implications. At the end of the day, the ethics behind AI, this is going to be a trend that's exploding because you don't want an AI to suddenly take control and focus on something specific and produce a lot of negative attention, because that, first of all, can lead to a lot of money loss for a corporation, bad PR. But second of all, the consequences can go into other things. The big thing we're going to be seeing is augmented working over the next couple of years. We're already with remote working, thanks to what happened with COVID. You had a lot more positions that suddenly are able to be hybrid or remote. With that, you're going to have augmented situations where, for example, we've already seen the robot cutting that little grape with surgery. Well, in the future, there's probably going to be a lot of advancements in healthcare, from the surgery table to producing medication, that it's going to be like a little assistant helping out. Okay, what is the guided diagnostics from this AI for procedures, or attorneys that have AI curated case references that are mid-trial, or maybe software developers? You already have a lot of tools that, hey, here's the code, here's what you can fix. Well, AI can do things a lot faster, more efficiently, and it's going to be like your little brother that's just kind of overlooking everything. Okay, here's what you have to fix, or in that case, big brother. There's going to be a lot of fields out there where instead of two people or a manager above that person, you're going to have just the manager who's managing the AI, making sure that everything's okay. And eventually, there's just going to be AI managing AI, machine learning and whatnot. But we're not there yet, obviously. However, already we're seeing a lot of programs come out that are just making a lot of things quicker. Okay, how do I study? Well, let's take all of these fields of interest that I'm looking at, or how do I create a company? Let's compile them together. Give me a shortened report of what's the most important stuff to learn, and boom, we could make a new business. We could write a new essay for school. We could create a new medicine, a new idea, an innovation, an invention. How can we make flying cars? I don't know. Better self-driving cars, better safety tools. That leads us to the third. We went through 1, 2, 3. The fourth one, generative AI. This is going to be huge. And with this, you're going to see a lot of creative settings for this. From where we are right now, where it's just simple, for example, ChatGPT, okay, can you write me an email for typing to this client because, I don't know, I'm busy, or I suck at writing or whatnot, from simple chatbots to something that is able to produce, like Beethoven, a complex musical symphony, choreographing that entire thing, to a writer, an author that's creating these amazing narratives and series and books and whatnot, to a AI that's able to replace the whole media department because it's creating its own YouTube videos and then going on TikTok and creating all that, and then creating the thumbnails and then designing everything and then creating the descriptions and tags, every single process from the creative, hey, let's upload to YouTube, let's upload to social media, to maybe, okay, let's produce all these designs for t-shirts. We're selling accessories now to the audience that's watching this AI channel. Every single part of that can be automated. Not yet, but in the future it will be. And a huge part of this innovation is these machines will be learning how to create better music, better art, better videos. You're already having these robots that are winning competitions out there. I had a client that came in, purchased a car, and he showed me he was running a startup that was winning a bunch of robot competitions. Like, it was a food robot that behind the scenes, you don't need like 10 chefs anymore. You can have 1 or 2 chefs in this robot, and it's creating new designs and crazy like Michelin stuff. Like, this was $1 million robot, mind you, but it exists. It's already out there. Now this is a prototype and whatever, but I mean, anything from food to art to driving trucks to everything, to learning language, creating multiple accents, creating colors, languages, new mathematical equations out there, solving science riddles solving science problems that have been the problem of many scientists before us. Quantum computing will be the fifth and final kind of frontier, where right now it seems like something out of a sci-fi movie. And you have very smart computers now. I mean, think about it. You have a very small computer in front of you constantly. The thinnest MacBooks, right? Compared to in the 1950s, these massive computers that were the size of entire rooms. Over here, I'd be staring at it. It's like, what the heck? From going to space without knowing a whole lot, we knew a lot, we were guessing, we were playing around with certain things, to now being able to figure out the great complexities of what's out there and looking for alien life and all this stuff. That's going to be quantum computers, because it's going to mainly start with, first of all, complex calculations. Really, really tough math that we cannot figure out, or computers are just not at that level right now to do this at such a rapid speed that quantum computer will be. So from regular bits, you're going to go to qubits. This is all inspired by quantum mechanics. But with qubits, instead of being in a state of 0 or 1, instead of normal bits being in a state of 0 or 1, qubits will be both. It can be both at the same time. And this unlocks great potential for data processing. So you have certain technologies right now that, like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, for example, very complex math problems that are being solved by computers, supercomputers, whatnot. Well, in comes quantum AI that in the future can potentially crack everything. It can think of all these crazy passwords to a bunch of Bitcoin wallets out there, steal all the Bitcoin, or it can go deeper. It can start tearing apart certain cryptocurrencies and blockchains just because it's able to process data so quickly that what would previously take billions of years, well, in the near future, might be 8 hours. Going through trillions and trillions of data points and combinations, figuring out passwords and secrets for companies and vaults, and playing around with the stock market. I mean, there's a whole lot of potential danger here as well. Quantum computing, quantum AI will start to potentially, even in the future, mimic a human brain, whether it's memory or emotions, and it goes down this rabbit hole of machine learning. So at that point, it gets a little spooky. Now, as long as there's proper regulation and controls, and whoever the architects are ethical, we might be okay. Right now, there's a huge race similar to what we had in the 60s and 50s for the nuclear race, where now it's kind of the digital nuclear codes, right? With quantum computing, there's going to be this concept of quantum supremacy. Who reigns supreme over, whether it's a government or corporation, over all the other corporations and computers out there, because they have the fastest, they have the best, they have so much power that they're able to make a bunch of money. Their stock's going to go up. It's going to be crazy, right? So you have Microsoft, IBM, Google that are investing billions of dollars into this technology. You even have startups that are joining the race now. And already, if you look up quantum AI, Google is the first thing that pops up. They've already had certain computers that are able to work better than the current modern day best computers out there, but there's a problem with quantum computing just now. The qubits are pretty unstable. They can get affected pretty easily in their environment, and engineers and scientists are working to make these qubits stronger. So over time, probably in the next couple of years or maybe even more, we could see a company that perfects this process, and eventually they're going to get more and more powerful. But until then, they're still working on the hardware and the software, and there's going to be a lot of companies that will come up, and there's going to be both fronts which are being worked upon. Hey, let's make this hardware a lot better. It's crazy because you see technology improving in your phones, in your laptops, in your personal computers, in your automobiles. Everything is getting a lot better, and it's happening at such a rapid pace. But behind the scenes, they're working on crazier stuff, and NASA's investing into it, obviously, for space travel and figuring out the great questions of the universe. With that, those are the top 5 focuses for artificial intelligence. It's a pretty exciting world we currently live in. So with that, what you can do is try and learn up as fast as you can. Try and switch your career into becoming a programmer, data scientist, something to do with AI, because potentially in 5-10 years, you could have a 6 or 7 figure role. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.